When it comes to special occasions, weddings are about as special as it gets. Special for the couple getting married, of course, but also for their families and guests. And from candid portraits to group shots to simple details and private moments, weddings provide endless opportunities for creative photography. So for this field test, we've brought the Fujifilm X-T2 to Guemas Island to shoot the wedding of our friends Tim and Aaron with DPReview's editorial manager and professional portrait and wedding photographer, Wenmei Hill. So Wenmei, we've come to beautiful Guemas Island, and what are we doing here?
Well, we're going to shoot a wedding, and we're going to shoot it with the Fuji X-T2.
How's it going to fit into what we're doing today?
Well, you know what? I think it's actually going to work really well here because this is kind of a rustic wedding. It's a little bit more casual. The Fuji X-T2 especially is really great for camera enthusiasts who really like to have hands-on the functions.
I agree. I mean, Fujifilm cameras in general, with all the external controls, they're really a pleasure to use, and it puts all that control at your fingertips. So it makes it really accessible for all sorts of changing situations and environments, which is what weddings are really all about. Well, there it is. I mean, it's a really solid feeling camera for its size, which is really nice too. I mean, and everything is nicely weather sealed on it.
You've got your metering there, you've got your drive mode, I mean, all the classic things for your exposures. I mean, it's just nice that everything is really hands-on.
One additional feature they've added, which is really catering to professionals, is this is the second Fujifilm camera with dual card slots. If you've ever had a card fail, you don't want to rely on just having one card, so you can use it as a backup. Or if you're not shooting something so crucial, you can use it as overflow. You don't change cards very often. What are some of your strategies for photographing weddings in general?
The main thing, I think, is remembering that this wedding is a special moment for the people that are having the wedding, and I am supposed to be kind of in the background. Knowing how this camera works, the X-T2 and Fuji's in general, I would pick the lenses that are really going to get me the shots that I want. You know, my job is to really capture these moments for them to have after the fact, but not to ruin the moments while they're happening.
Guemas Island is one of the smallest inhabited islands in the San Juan Island chain. With a handful of full-time residents, limited amenities, and only accessible by ferry, Guemas has a quiet, rustic charm that feels a million miles away from the hustle and bustle of Seattle. All of these qualities make it very attractive as a destination for vacations, weekend getaways, and of course, weddings. Carey and I got to the wedding early so that we could get familiar with the venue, photograph the morning activities, and get our camera settings dialed in.
I'm a back button autofocus shooter, so what that means is I don't use the half press. Decoupling that means if I just want to pre-focus and wait for something to happen, I can do that. I can continually hold it down. I like just the extra degree of control that separating focus from the shutter gives me.
One of the really fun parts about weddings are the kids, usually, even though they're the hardest to control, and so I always try to get a lot of good shots of kids at weddings.
All right, so the X-T2 has a built-in intervalometer, which is really handy for doing time lapses. We've got our shutter speed set to 1/4 of a second to get some motion blur. We've got our aperture set to f10, and then we have an ND filter to help us get down to that 1/4 of a second. So one of the things I'm noticing, I'm just getting some details here now that the placements are final, is that I'm down to 2 bars on a battery. And ordinarily that means I'm just automatically gonna swap it out. But actually, Fujifilm came out with a new battery grip for the X-T2, which adds 2 additional batteries. And it's really handy because I'm not gonna have to change a battery for basically the whole day. The X-T2 is Fujifilm's flagship X-series camera and the most versatile model in the company's lineup. With the new 24-megapixel X-Trans sensor, it's equally at home documenting detailed still lifes or the bridal party getting ready.
Compared to a traditional DSLR, the X-T2's small size and quiet shutter make it ideal for candid portraiture. When shooting weddings, it's great to be able to blend into the background with a camera that isn't large and intimidating. The X-T2 is also great for detail shots. The X-Trans sensor eliminates moiré and fine patterns like the lace on Aaron's wedding dress.
I was shooting with the 16-55 when I was inside because it's a tight space and I wanted to be sure to get some of the environment, get everyone who's in there. But now I'm putting on a longer lens and the light will be nice out here because it's daylight, and then with the longer lens I can get in a little bit closer and get some more details.
So how are things going here?
It's going great. They've got hair and makeup done. Sweet. And she's going over her vows right now, having a little bit of quiet time. I've been using the LCD for the vast majority of the time, and it's nice because I can converse and everyone is comfortable and it's more relaxed, and then I can just take the shots. I've been swapping between a lot of lenses, more so than I usually do, and it's been nice to be able to have an entire arsenal.
Shooting a wedding is among the most difficult jobs for any photographer or camera. The constant switching from outdoor to indoor environments and the traditional mixture of white and black clothing can be a nightmare when it comes to exposure. Two of the major selling points of the Fujifilm X-T2 are its advanced metering system and expanded dynamic range modes. These help to capture a wide range of tones in a single exposure without the need to resort to extensive raw post-processing. Meanwhile, the X-T2's snappy autofocus system and quiet shutter help when capturing candid moments, like the groomsmen getting ready.
With the ceremony about to begin, Carey and I staked out our spots around the venue and waited for the moments to unfold around us. The lighting was a big challenge, with deep shadows and bright highlights, but the dynamic range of the new 24-megapixel sensor allowed us to capture the scene faithfully, while the autofocus system didn't miss a beat. The high quality and wide variety of Fujifilm's lenses meant that Carey and I could make images from opposite ends of the ceremony that complemented each other, which also came in handy during the all-important first kiss.
Congratulations, I pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
After the ceremony, and with the light dropping, we wanted to get some formal portraits of the bride, groom, and their close family. 1, 2, 3. With the blue waters of the strait as a backdrop, we used two off-camera Fujifilm EF X500 flash units. We triggered these wirelessly via radio receivers to light our subjects. As one big unit, it's kind of like a dance thing. We'll take one big step to your right. It's not easy base ISO at f8 with a group of like 15 people. 1, 2, 3. In all, the X-T2 and flashes did a great job balancing with the late afternoon light.
Built-in Wi-Fi means that it's easy to send JPEG images from the X-T2 directly to a smartphone and also to Fujifilm's SP2 wireless Instax printer. Instant prints make great souvenirs for the guests to take home with them and are a fun way to make sure the bride and groom have some photos from the day right away.
These are the shots that we were taking during the wedding, actually.
That's
We can just grab them. We did a
nice.
selection of them, but we can keep printing
Oh, this
some
is
out.
so cool. These look great.
Very nice.
As the guests loaded up their plates and prepared for the evening's festivities, Carey took the bride and groom aside for some quiet sunset portraits right on the beach, with the EF X500 flash providing some fill light for the newlyweds. The X-T2's film simulation and wide dynamic range modes, plus support for instant wireless printing, make it a very capable camera when it comes to capturing JPEGs. This is handy when, like Carey, you realize you've been shooting JPEG only. All day.
I set raw recording to compressed without telling it to actually shoot raw.
Good thing there were two of us. While the sun set and Carey took some time to ponder the series of questionable life choices that had led him to this unhappy point, the wedding guests sat down for dinner and speeches. There's nothing worse than a photographer ruining everyone's view at the front of the room, so I positioned myself off to one side, shooting with the 5140 f2.8 telezoom and bouncing the flash off the underside of the reception tent.
Tim and Aaron in the life of adventure together.
It's the end of a long day. We've documented Tim and Aaron's wedding, from setup and preparation to the vows, right through to the traditional first dances at sunset. The Fujifilm X-T2 kept up with us at every step of the way. DPReview, this has been Carey Rose and Wenmei Hill.